welcome back Crown Vic fans. Here is Frank again. I'm standing on my driveway today here at my home, and yeah, what you can see no Vic. As I mentioned in my last video, I've sold my Vic, and yeah, that's the reason why it's a little bit empty. You can see here only my family car. It's my brand new family car. It's the Mazda CX-5. Actually, it's only a few days old. I've got no experience right now with that car. Maybe I can tell you in another video my experience with that car. So on the other side, you can see here a little scooter from my wife, my motorbike, my BMW 800 GS, a bicycle from my daughter, but no Vic. Tja, is a Vic, or is a life without a Vic a good life? Maybe, but it's the desire maybe to get a new one. So, and that's the reason I've bought a new Crown Vic. Together with my buddy Chris from East Coast Classics, we want to start right now our export-import story I've mentioned in another videos. As you know, I've sold my Vic because the other ones in a full spec, Los Angeles full police spec, was a little bit too noticeable, and the second reason is it's a little bit too big for that driveway here. And yeah, so I think it's too big also right now, but the main reason is to buy that car together with Chris is to introduce you the import and export story, and it begins right now. So a few weeks ago, Chris bought a very nice Vic at an auction in Delaware, and he started the process to bring it to Delaware, and the car will go on a ship to Bremerhaven, Germany. And for the first chapter, Chris will explain a little bit about the car, and then when it's arrived in Bremerhaven, I will take over and tell you the complete story. What do you need to import, what you have to do, like taxes and rebuildings, and what does it cost. And when I'm saying what does it cost, I don't want to own that car very long, because it's only for the import-export story, and I will tell you in this story everything about the costs. And if you're living in Germany and want to own a really good Vic, at 2011 Vic, I think it's one of the newest on the market here, then you can buy it, I think, in the fall. And if you want, I think we will land in the 11,000 euro section. That means a little bit high costs for my American buddies, but if you've seen maybe my other videos, why are Vics so expensive in Germany, you know then why a Vic is so expensive in Germany, because of the other costs like import, rebuilding, taxes, transport, and so on. Yeah. So if you're living in Germany and if you are interested, maybe you can send me a message. Please use the messenger from YouTube. Please do it not to the public. And I think roughly 11,000 euros will be the result of that story. But it doesn't matter at the moment. I want to explain a little bit about the import and the export, and let's have together a little bit fun about that. And after that, we can talk about numbers. So thanks again, thanks a lot for your interest here on that video, and I will throw the Vic key now to Chris in Delaware, and he will explain and introduce the first things about the Vic. Thanks a lot, and stay interested, and see you again here on that channel. Thanks.
This video is for my buddy Frank in Germany. And Frank, this is an introduction to your new 2011 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. I bought this Crown Vic on April 15th, 2019, tax day here in the United States. I went down to the state surplus auction where they had a whole bunch of these cars for sale being auctioned off. I went down there specifically looking for the newest, cleanest, nicest, best condition, lowest mileage Crown Vic I could find at the auction. And this is the one I came up with. This one has 81,000 miles on it. The paint is called North Sea Blue. It's a blue metallic. The interior is charcoal. And this is probably the nicest driving Crown Vic I've ever had as well. Now, I had a bunch of these, and this one is fairly unique in that it's because of the lower mileage, because of the condition that it's in. It has a little bit of sticker shadow right here on the door, and the same thing on the other door as well. Some little scrapes and chips in the paint from, what, 9 years of service. The bumpers are nice, the doors are nice, the paint's not peeling. When the state sells these cars, they take off everything that's police related to the car. Not just the equipment, but also the stickers and the badging that says Police Interceptor there on the rear sail panel. When I first picked up this car at the auction, it had full wheel covers. And I contacted my buddy Alan, who lives in Tampa, Florida, who also has a YouTube channel under the name The Cop Car. He had a whole bunch of these center caps, and he was kind enough to swap the full wheel covers for the center caps. Inside, it's got the cloth interior, the vinyl back seat. I ran over to Walmart and picked up a center console for Frank. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. Here's the power wire for the spotlight. And one other thing that Alan helped me out with, not just the wheel covers, but back here in the trunk, we got a spotlight. All wrapped up, taped down. I'm going to cover that up with the extra carpeting that I have for the trunk. Something interesting about buying cars at the state auction here is that for $20 I can buy a paper license plate, and that gives me 2 months worth of driving time with the car before I have to register it. We have the adjustable pedals. We have a few holes in the dash right here from the police equipment. Air conditioning works, everything works. Now, one of the first things I did when I got this car home was to detail it. And I made a video on that detailing, and the car came out fantastic. The shine, the cleanliness in the paint and the interior. The car is stunning, absolutely stunning, both in its color and the condition. Now, there's a few things for Frank to do when he gets the car. For instance, this had the full wheel covers on, and so now the rims need to be painted. The spotlight needs to be installed. But otherwise, it's ready to get in, drive, and enjoy right away. The transporter just showed up. It only took a few minutes to get it loaded up on the flatbed, and the car is off to the port. Now, where I'm located here in Delaware, I'm pretty equal distance between New York City and Baltimore. But the hassle of going to New York City is insurmountable sometimes. And Baltimore is just easy. It's right down I-95. I'm close to I-95, 72 miles or so. And that's where the car is going, to the Port of Baltimore, where they also provide drive-on, drive-off service for vehicles going to Europe. Now, it's exactly what it sounds like. You drive the car onto the ship, they latch it down, and off they go. So the car is first going to a transporter simply because Homeland Security rules prevents anybody from just going into the ports, whether it's the Port of Baltimore, New York, or wherever. You have to have credentials to get into the port property. And so the car is going to a transporter in Baltimore. That transporter has the credentials to get the car into the port property. He also will receive the travel documents for the car as well, which will tell the folks at the port what ship the car is going on, where it needs to be staged, time and date, and so forth. Now, once the car is at the transporter, $150 for him to drive it that mile from his lot onto the port property. But there's no other way to do that. You can't avoid it. It's just simply part of the process. So the car's all loaded up now, strapped down, on our way to the Port of Baltimore, then onto the ship, and then the next stop, Bremerhaven, Germany. So Frank, I hope you enjoy your new car. I hope you adore like I do, and as always, thanks so much, man.